So I watched One Piece 1093, so you don't have to. I'm telling you guys immediately, the episode is terrible, okay? The episode is basically unwatchable. It's this pure recap of Law. It's like 98.3% recap, and then 2% of whatever of Blackbeard and Law, okay? The episode is completely terrible. I started watching it, and I was like, is this the right episode? Is this seriously the right episode? That is the feel, right? Okay, this episode is just completely pointless, and honestly, I shouldn't be surprised by Toei, but I am disappointed because at least during Wano, right, they called it like Wano Special 3, Wano 4 and so on, and Bartolomeo was like going over earlier Wano bits, right? But now they're back to just calling it, you know, the current episode name, current year, and it's like 1093, but it actually is just, this could be called like, you know, this Egghead Island Special 1 or something. It's so bad. But, with all that being said though, let me just do a little bit of, I don't know, Doflamingo reacts to Law or something. But seriously, Law's flashback though is my favorite flashback in One Piece. So let's, I don't know, review it a bit and also let's check out the few new Blackbeard scenes. So first of all, my mom have seen this thing, okay? Like seriously, right? So my mom has never seen One Piece, she's only seen the Law flashback. Almost. But honestly, my mom hasn't seen up to this episode of One Piece, but she has seen Law flashback, right? So trying to get my mom to get invested into One Piece, right? Of course, many times over the years. And she seen like the East Blue Sagas, alright. Then I kind of said, okay, but let's watch something later on that is really good. So I actually did get my mom to watch the flashback with me of Law and Rocinante and of course Doflamingo, right? Because again, it's the best flashback in One Piece. So she jumped like 600 episodes to watch it. But seriously, I think it's the best flashback in One Piece, right? That's why I got my mom to watch it. And she's seen a few animes like Fullmetal Alchemist and so on. If there's any anime my mom, yeah, the first anime I really got my mom to watch is Fullmetal Alchemist. There's another video, links below for that, to talk about that in my FMA video, but seriously, like when I was a kid, right, I was like, there's one anime, mom, you have to give it a chance. So it was like Fullmetal Alchemist. I'm talking about, of course, the 2003 version then, because it was before Brotherhood. Anyway, I digress. I really do love this flashback, though. Obviously, Doflamingo is the best character in One Piece. But all that being said, here in episode 1093, I mean, I do hate it that they're doing a full recap, but I do want to say that, again, this flashback is the best flashback in One Piece, though. So even though I was like, oh my god, it's a pure recap, so where's Blackbeard? I still enjoy what I'm seeing, right? So quick review of it, you know what I'm talking about. I love how Law's flashbacks with the lead thing. My favorite scene is Rocinante dies, right, okay? Not because he dies per se, but because how the snow falls on his face and it becomes the snow as with the sickness and Law had and so on, right? It's such a good storytelling in this thing, right? It divides off the deep part. Obviously, the really best part from a story aspect is, of course, Doflamingo is the best written character in One Piece, right? And, I mean, seriously, if there's one villain, one sympathetic villain, it's of course Doflamingo. It actually makes sense what he's a bad guy for. And, honestly, you have to kind of embed it into the Law flashback, right? Like I said in this episode, you have to kind of embed into it. Yes, Law is a well-written character, Rocinante is a well-written character, but if anyone, Doflamingo is a well-written character. That's also actually probably, I have to say, that why is Law's flashback is the best flashback, is because it also has the best villain flashback, right? You know, it's a whole package there of like 3 well-written characters. But on a side of that, like whatever, why is Doflamingo the best character? For many reasons why, but from a flashback standpoint, you know, you actually understand why he's doing that. His father's obviously wrong, so he gets revenge on his father, justified revenge on his father, right? The mom clearly dies because of the father's actions, right? The villagers were wrong to hurt his brother and so on, right? Because his brother was innocent and so on, and so on, right? You know. So the Doflamingo actually makes the most sense by all the bad guys in One Piece by a long shot. Doesn't mean he's not evil or whatnot, right? But he's by far the most sympathetic evil. And also, on another point, Doflamingo is another video per se, I suppose. But Doflamingo is also by far the best written, actual, like, pragmatic bad guy in One Piece, where he actually is, like, aware that Luffy is the main character. He's like, how do I trick this guy? And he actually has, like, you know, plan B, plan C, and plan D and so on, right? And honestly, one of Oda's biggest mistakes is having Doflamingo so early in the story in a weird way, right? So to speak, early in the story. But it really is, because Doflamingo, particularly Kaido, is a 10 times much more well-written character. And he's much more intimidating and everything seems more interesting. And honestly, Doflamingo, he has a much better his backstory than Kaido. Not the actual detail, but it's like He's a fallen, he's a dragon, turned into a pirate, turned into a king again, and so on. Right? Kaido is like, oh, he's an Oni. Even if Kaido had more backstory, he's just like, he's like a powerful dude. Like, you know? But even if he had more details, I don't think it would be more than that. Doflamingo has a much more unique backstory by all the bad guys, but by far in the anime as well, right? So, honestly, Oda's, one of his by far biggest mistake, Doflamingo is too early, right, in One Piece standards. He should be the higher up bad guy, and I hope, of course, he returns with all the other bad guys like Crocodile and Miyok and so on. But seriously, Doflamingo is probably like too much of an interesting character. And I would say again, Oda's best idea how to present a bad character, right? And he can everyone else after Doflamingo is just way more boring. But seriously, they all, especially after Doflamingo, having Kaido, which is just a pale bad guy, right? Because, I mean, come on, Crocodile is also a better bad guy, so yeah, like Oda has just kind of throwing out the worst bad guys in the end, right? It's almost a big mistake. But again, back to this episode with Law and so on, it's an interesting episode in that sense. I think it recaps some of the best bits, right, of One Piece. And maybe I'm biased, but I do think that Dressrosa is one of the best arcs when it comes to its finer bits, right? The problem with Dressrosa is just how it's so slow-paced, right? It's terrible pacing, which of course is the issue in like every arc after... I wouldn't even say after the time skip, but obviously One Piece is slower and slower paced. I mean, Wano is actually much worse than Dressrosa. Wano has absurdly bad pacing. Egghead Island is one of the best paced, if not the best paced arc after the time skip. But Dressrosa has one of the, I think, the most best bits, right, of One Piece after the time skip, by far. But of course, it's bloated, right? But story, the actual chapter sizes, and the anime actually made even more. It's just like Wano. But the point is that when you look at the recap episode today, 93 here, which is a pure recap, like I said, it has the best bits, right, of basically the Dressrosa arc. And that's a really good recap, right? Because it shows you all the best moments of this far too long arc, right? So that's why I think it's interesting too. But of course, the episode is a complete filler episode, and disappointed in on calling it Egghead Island Special 1. Yeah, so the episode is a complete filler episode, but now you know at least why Doflamingo is the best character instead. I've been talking about for a long time, right? But it's also, honestly, I do think that I mentioned briefly earlier, but also the pragmatism, right, you know? I think that's a massive issue in One Piece speaking. We see in the latest chapter of the manga, right? We're like, why is Saturn and other guys being like, well, we know that Luffy now is the legendary god Nika, but let's still underestimate him, right? Like, that kind of frustration is something I never felt with Doflamingo, and it goes back to what I just said, with like, Doflamingo is a bad guy being in One Piece too early, because it's just like, he's actually not underestimating Luffy whatsoever, right? He's actually far too aware of the powers of the main character and so on, and he would be the much more interesting actual final bad guy, or he's a much later bad guy, like, I guess Gear 5 whatnot, right, and so on, because he actually would kind of respect the Gear 5, right, in that sense, like he's a much more intelligent bad guy in the Gorosei and so on, and that again shows you in that aspect, right. But anyway, yeah, that's the episode, guys. I mean, I don't care, man. I don't know why I call it like whatever. 2093 were useless. Yeah, this is a video now where Doflamingo is the best bad guy. Okay, there's nothing in this episode. Okay, like why did I waste my time watching this episode for to make this video? And that sounds right. I could just make the video about Doflamingo immediately. Yes, like hey, you know what? Yeah, there's literally nothing in this episode that's worth your time whatsoever. So watch the videos then. But have a go. Watch the video, please subscribe, and have a great day.